Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today, we're going to take a look at the inside of the wiring spaghetti mix that we've updated since our last update. And we're also going to discuss some supplies you need for lighting up a ship like this, as well as some of the masking supplies I've used. And if you stick around to the end, there's a little light show for you. Let's go. Okay, we are back at the bench and I'm really excited for this update. We're going to discuss some of the lighting on the saucer and show you what that looks like now, where we're at. Before we get there, I just wanted to ask for a favor. Would you mind liking this video? When you like this video, it just helps promote my channel across YouTube to all the like-minded hobbyists out there who might be doing this build as well. And if you would, and if you like the content, please subscribe and hit that notification bell. And you'll see more of video content like this. Just to let you know, I plan to stay on brand. I'm not going to throw you off with some video about, how to plant a garden or something like that. I'm going to stay on brand. And of course, the brand here at JC Model Creations is model building. I really love, of course, the Enterprise. And so you'll see me probably building a lot of Star Trek Enterprise ships. But I do have other models that I want to build, Star Wars, and I like to build some of the Army and military ships. In fact, let me just show you. This is a build I did a few years ago. U.S. Air Force jet here. I really enjoyed this build, and it was something that I had this kit for quite a while, and I still have this thing on display. I'm very happy with it, and as you can tell, it's a detailed kit, and I just really love the way this came out. So this isn't specifically a Star Trek channel. It's not specifically a Star Trek channel, but I do enjoy the Enterprise. So please like, subscribe, help me spread the word, and let's move forward. So as you can see, I've painted the lower saucer planetary dome. It's not finished yet, definitely not finished yet. There is paneling that has been done here on this, and I'm very happy with the way it's coming out and the way it's looking. The last thing I plan on doing on this thing is right in between these four squares, the circle here is going to be painted with a kind of the shimmering colors. I'm going to mix the shimmering colors and get kind of a gold silver look to it. So I'm going to mix a few of those shimmering colors together. And of course, I still have to add in the lens here for the light that's supposed to shoot out. Those lenses, I worked on painting those, and so as you can see, they've been painted and highlighted. There is masking tape on that, so I need to pull the masking tape off, and I'll be doing that and putting this together. So I'm working on that right now. But I do want to discuss some of the LEDs and the lighting, and then we'll continue. And I want to show you what the lighted ship looks like. Before I do that, though, I do want to mention that what's really helping me on this build, there's two resources that's helping me. First off is the masking kit, or the mask kit from Mask Design. The kit comes with the PDF of the instructions there, and this happens to be the PDF for the masks for the planetary saucer, the planetary dome, pardon me. And these are just my little notes because I mixed the paints, which is another thing I purchased to help me on this build, and that was Trek Modeler's paint guide for the build. So here's a sample of what that looks like. This is actually from one of the pages, page 31 on the planetary sensor array, and this shows you, the colors, and what you should be painting and how it should look. And for the center dome, airbrush all 4 iridescent colors to create a solid silver chrome effect. So there's different ideas on this to help you with your model build. So if you have a chance to do it, it's not fully necessary for you to do it, but it is much better than just having the instructions that come with the kit. Now, the instructions that come with the kit, for those of you who haven't seen this yet, they give you these colors, right? And they tell you, where to paint what, but it's not very detailed, right? So, you've got to be you've got to look at pictures and eye it and all that kind of thing when you're putting this thing together. So the Trek Modeler's painting guide for the Enterprise Refit is so very helpful. I completely recommend this. And obviously, there are other masking kits out there. You've got orbital dry docks masking kit and all that, but I'm enjoying this particular kit. Now, I did have some problems with the black. It was very tacky. The film that was used for the masking on this Planetary sensor array is very tacky, and it was hard to come off. So what you want to do is just take a hair dryer and set it on warm or hot, and then kind of dry, blow that warm air on the tacky mask while it's on there, and that'll make it a little easier to come off. Just a little trick of the trade there, all right? Thank you for all your comments. I love this hobby community. You guys, your suggestions, your comments. I've never declared myself an expert. I'm just a common person, just like you, just enjoying the hobby. And I love the comments that I get. You guys are great. Thank you for your tips. Sometimes I don't get a chance to take those things and implement them, because by the time you see this video, I've already done the part. For example, somebody, I forget who the user was, talked about how to put the windows into the officer's lounge on this ship. And they mentioned, instead of trying to hold it with your finger or with a tool, kind of put it in there with the tool, and then put a piece of cotton there and tape the cotton onto the plastic that you're using for the windows, and then you can let it sit there, and then do the glue around that. I did use canopy glue for that window interior. I didn't want to melt the plastic with any kind of CA glue. So that being said, let's move on. Let's talk about some of the things that I've used for this kit as far as the LEDs and lights. Okay, and we're back, and something else to mention to you is some of the lighting. I got some of these small pre-wired SMDs picked up off of Amazon. If you want them, I can leave a link for you. But they're pre-wired, and they will hold up to 12 volts. And so you need these kind of pre-wired SMDs if you're not an electric guy. This is the package they came in. They're model train accessories. And what I like is it was an assortment of yellow, white, green, red, blue. So this gives you everything you need for your build here, because you're going to need red, green, you're going to need the white specifically throughout the ship there. So these were really handy, because you don't need to do anything to the actual, the actual light. You just glue it into place and hook it up. And so we'll discuss that on the saucer. Let me just show you a few other LEDs that I bought and I'm using. So these are up to 12 volt, 5 millimeter pre-wired, and again, red, blue, all the different colors you'll need. I used the yellow for the from this kit. I used the yellow for the impulse engines and the thrusters on the side of the saucer. And so you're going to need 5 millimeters. You're going to need these small little SMDs for this ship. So you need to pick, if you're doing this build and you're lighting it up, you need to pick up these types of LEDs. Also, as mentioned before, I used these strips of LEDs for the window ports. Now, one thing that in retrospect, I wish I'd used a few more at the window ports. I only clipped like 3 LEDs per window port. I probably should have done a longer strip per window port, but I'm okay with the way it's coming out right now, and I'll show you that in just a moment. We'll light it all up, but these are really easy to work with. So you need to have your strips of LEDs here, and then of course you need to have your wire wrapping wire. This is really good stuff. I like this because it's really easy. You know, the tips here to expose the metal part of this wire, you just use your fingers and your nails here, and you just pull it off, and there it is. You've got the exposed wire there just by pulling it off like that. And if it's too hard, you can literally use a lighter, you know, to burn it off. You get the flame there, and it makes the plastic part of it wrinkly, and then you just pull it off. But it's easy to come off with your fingers there when you're working with this stuff. So this is basically what you need when it comes to LEDs and wire. And of course you need to have, like, you know, some a good CA glue and kicker. Yeah, you need the CA glue and a good kicker to get it to set instantly. So definitely recommend, you know, having something like this. I went out and also bought a very liquidy CA glue, very thin liquidy CA glue, as you can see, because you will need this as well for parts of your build. All right, let's talk about the saucer. Okay, my friends, after the last update, I decided to refocus on the saucer here and get this done and locked away. And as you can see, I've been quite busy at this. So let's talk about a few things here and point some things out for you so you can see what's going on. Obviously, in the last update, we got the LEDs on. I don't know if you can see this. Let me kind of put it up close, but I did reinforce these with CA glue and kicker. Little spots here and there. You want to do that, not depend on just the saucer tape, because you don't want it coming off later on after you're all said and done. A lot of these are hooked up straight to the power lines here, the circular power line. So they're all hooked up to that as much as possible. And I know this looks like a mess. It does, it is. But I'm also using 2 boards that I purchased from Tenna Controls. This is the multi-timing board. This is a board that can be used for multiple starships. The Enterprise Refit A. You can also use this for the original series Enterprise. You can use it for, I believe you can also use it for Voyager. This little chunk here, you just move it to wherever it needs to be. In this case, the little blue piece here needs to be on the very far right for it to be the timing board for the Enterprise Refit. So if you wanted the original, I believe it's the first one. You got to pull this out and put it into the first one, and then the timing changes to the original series Enterprise. So I have that, and then I'm using this board for the impulse crystal and the deflector dish. It changes the impulse crystal and the deflector dish colors from amber or yellow to blue with your momentary switch. And all that is you know, these two little wires that come out of it have to be hooked up to the momentary switch, and they will fire off the different effects that you want. Now, the board doesn't come pre-wired, so you have to solder all this wiring in, and the Tenna Controls folks are really good about giving you the instructions and showing you a detailed schematic on where to pre-wire everything. So this, again, I reinforced with CA glue, both of these, and kicker. And then the other couple of things I've done since the last update is I went ahead and installed the officer's lounge here, and I've also installed the rec deck. So these are locked in place. As you can see, I reinforced it a little bit with one of the pieces of sprue from the kit. And this happened to have a little angled sprue going this way here and this way here, so I was able to lock everything down there. Something to note that, you know, the bright LED at the that I installed here, I installed two LEDs, two SMDs, pardon me, at the top of this officer's lounge to bring down light onto the officer's lounge. I actually took a piece of polystyrene and covered those and painted it with red, blue, and and yellow paint, and kind of glued it over the SMDs to dim the light a little bit in the officer's lounge. So you play with that. I think Boyd at Trekworks used an orange, clear orange, which is probably a little better. I didn't have a clear orange in my little arsenal of paint, so I just decided, let me just spray paint it red, blue, and I liked the way it looked. And so that came out okay. And over here for the rec deck, this is the one that came with the photo etch set, like I said last time. To light it up, I just created this V-shape LEDs, and I think it does the job well enough. I'm not going to go all crazy and put an SMD back here and flickering and all that. I just wanted something simple to put in, and it looks really nice. Now for the impulse engine, I went ahead and installed this piece of plastic styrene that I painted black on the outside. I CA glued both yellow LEDs here. They're scuffed to kind of mask some of the brightness of the LED. And I also scuffed the inside of the clear on this piece here and the outside as much as I could. And I installed the grills. So these grills that come with the photo etch, they're really nice because they look totally black, although they're glued onto a clear piece of plastic. So I'm really happy with that. Some of the paint has scratched off when I was installing it, so I might repaint some of this, but it's kind of hard to see. Right now you can tell because it's really lit up by the light for this video. But when you're looking at it from afar, it doesn't really show very much. So we'll see. We'll see what I do on that. Obviously, this is an aftermarket part that I purchased from Hobbyworks, HOBBIWERKS.com. I'll leave a link on that. And this is really cool because this lets you cover up and mask this light here for the impulse crystal, and you don't have to mess with having to, make something up or create something to cover that up. And then, of course, all the SMDs are on the side. Here's the red one. The green one is over here on this side right here. And then we've got the yellow thrusters here and the white SMDs at the back here and at the front. Wow, this is such a big ship. I have to move this over. Showing, and they're going to blink with the right timing. On the blinking SMDs, you always, of course, use the black or the negative power wire will go to the blinking wire that's linked to your sorry, it's this white one that's linked to your board. So you will always attach all the negative wires to the wire that goes to the board for your blinking SMDs. And then you can attach the red power wire, the red one, to any power wire. It doesn't matter. That'll just give it, light it up. But it's the black wire that'll make the timing happen and make it blink. So I did that. I attached all the blinking navigation lights up to this white wire on the board. And then, of course, the strobe light is on the yellow wire. And this is the strobe, the black wire from the strobe that goes to the bridge. And that's attached here. And then, of course, all I did for this one is for the red wire from the strobe light, I just attached it to any red, opening I could find here. And I hooked that up. Cool. So that's the way that worked. Now, I wasn't happy with what I did as far as the paint job on the other side of this. I actually started with a flat white like I did in an update previously. And then I decided, hey, let me see what the big deal is about pearlescent white. A lot of people talk about painting this ship pearlescent white. I've done it before on smaller ships, but I've never done it with this big one. So let's try it out. And I tried the pearlescent white, and I wasn't happy with the outcome and the look. So let's discuss that. I want to go ahead and show you side by side the difference between the pearlized and the flat white, and then we'll be back to the bench. Okay, everybody, here are the two halves side by side. Like I was mentioning earlier, I decided to use that pearlized white on the top saucer, and then I stopped, so you can kind of see some of the blotches where I started and then I stopped. I wasn't happy with the way that was looking, and I should have listened and kept it as a flat white or a white primer type coat. Because it is definitely the Aztec paneling, as you can see, that makes all the difference. So when you compare side by side, you can see this is non-pearlized. This is just your standard white coat. And of course, this is your pearlized white. So what I plan to do here is I'm gonna go ahead and cover up everything that's been paneled in Aztec. And I'll cover up all that area. And then I'm going to go ahead and fix the rest of it and bring it back to a flat white. And you'll see that in the next update. All right, on to other things. Okay, everybody, we're back to the bench. And before I do this, just a quick discussion. I think you've already seen the clips where I painted a few of these pieces, specifically the impulse crystal there. Really happy with the masking kit for that, that Mask Design put out. And it just worked really nice. I also did the paneling, as you saw earlier, and happy with that. And of course, did some paneling work around here with the Mask Design kit, and I'm so happy with that. Any imperfections are not because of the kit, they're because of me. But wow, this really turned out nice. As I told you earlier, this paint job on the bridge, I'm not too happy with, especially specifically the round design here. I overdid it on some of the paint on the very top, so you can't really see the detail on the W's here. If you look close, the little design here at the top of the bridge, the gold. But I love the way the iridescent gold, shimmering gold comes out on the top and on the side here. It really looks nice when you angle it back and forth, and you can kind of see it. Sometimes it looks white, sometimes it looks gold. And then I went ahead and painted these panels here a light gray, and then these round circles here at the top, a light gray. And as far as finishing this up, I used masking tape for the red stripe and did that. And I also went ahead and colored the little boxes here in these gray stripe. I colored those a light gray as well, just to kind of give it some detail. It's coming out really nice. The only thing I'm not happy with on the top here right now is the pearlescent white that you can see, the splotches you can see on this area. And so I'm going to, like I said just a while ago, I'm going to cover this up, and I'm going to repaint this flat white, and we'll go from there. But I do want to show you the lighting on this. I'm really excited because this is already said and done. The lighting's coming out really cool. This is where the momentary switch should hook up to these two. So I'm going to leave these out so I can show you how this works. And all I have to do is touch these together, and that acts like the momentary switch. It switches power, or cuts power, and reactivates power, and then it makes the LED at the impulse crystal change colors. So let's turn this on and show you where we're at. I'm going to dim down the lights a little bit. I want to see, we can see how this works here. Look at that, my friends. We've got a very active, yeah, we've got a very active top saucer. I'm very, very happy with the way this is coming out. You can see the little strobe light there at the top of the bridge here. Um, you can see the highlight coming out here to show off the NCC 1701. And of course, there's if you can, let me see if I can bring this up close. You can see the little phaser banks at the right scale, casting a little shadow there. So that's looking really, really nice. I'm very, very happy about that. I haven't installed any windows here on the side, so there are no windows installed yet. I'm going to do that later. The drawback, by the way, to having that spotlight is this is really, really bright, but you know, we just deal with that as the build. Everything else will really, really distract from that if you look at everything else. Obviously, you've got your red and your green on the sides here. You've got your white navigation lights at the top of the saucer right there and at the back. And let me show off this impulse crystal if I can see in this darkness. Look at the impulse crystal over here. Turn. There you go. Turn on. That's your amber color. I'm going to touch these together again. Go into warp. That's your blue. And then turn one more time, and it turns off. I'm going to do it one more time to turn the amber on. There you go, or yellow. This is just coming along so beautifully. I'm very, very happy with this. Let me see if I can get to show you some of the other details. Okay, my friends, let me take a gander at this. There is the officer's lounge. I'm really happy with that. Something to note on the officer's lounge is the window. I'm not too happy with, I mean, it's okay, it's clear, but obviously the window is very a challenge to put on when you're using, when you're not using the window from the kit, when you're trying to do a window on your own. And I'll discuss that when we turn the lights on. You can see the impulse engines in the back here. Really, really nice. I love the way that looks. And then, of course, you've got your rec deck going on over here. Let me see if I can get this into focus for you. It's kind of tough when everything, all the other light leak is going. Rec deck is looking cool. Lots of good views. All right, everybody. So I'm really happy with the way this is coming out, and we'll be back next week with another update in the next week or two. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for your subscriptions. I need those; they mean a lot. Thank you for liking and engaging with the content as well. So until next time, my friends, we will see you. And if you're building this, I'll be trying to look out for your videos too and getting some tips from you. All right. Have a good week.